we will talk about the impact of market economy on Indian village. India, the pace of change was accelerated by the beginning of British hegemony and the process of modernization that followed. The colonial vested interest imposed a new type of capitalist economy in agriculture. Under the British rule, land also became a commodity and property. A new type of land revenue system was introduced to promote monetization. When we look at the village of India, we find that the traditional rural economy was primarily a subsistence oriented economy aimed at meeting the consumption needs of the local population. The Jajmani system was the basis of economic organization. Under this, people of different castes were involved in the exchange of goods and services according to local customs. But it also true that the market played a minor role in the subsistence-based economy as well. The people where local informal markets were held in different periods, but there was more emphasis on socio-cultural activities than on formal economic deals. There was also the possibility of establishing interrelationship between group of villages in the heart held on fixed duration. Economic exchange in such market typically resembled redistribution or barter. Thus, it can be said that a limited amount of cash economy and market exchange has been running in pre-industrialized urban center in India since medieval times. Along with this process of agriculturization and agriculturalization was also observed, especially among the tribal communities. The system of determining land revenue was implemented by the British ruler, under which the rent had to be paid in cash. This led to rapid start of garnering maximum cash from their crops or producing commercial cash crop. Thus, the rural economy was also the beginning of the spread and monetization of the market economy to Indian villages, linked to the urban and later the national economy. After independence, modern means of transport and communication were started by the government. This campaign was run largely under economic development program so that the market economy extended completely to the rural India. Along with this, everyday item available in urban market like soap, toothpaste, hosiery, etc. became available between villages and towns. On the other hand, poultry item from a village in North India have reached the market of the metropolis from far away area. With the becoming a wealthy class in the farming society, there has been a huge demand for comfort goods in the village as well. A.R. Desai in his seminal contribution mentioned four major characteristics of trend of change in rural India. Rapid transformation of agrarian society from a subsistence-based economy to a market economy. Rapid change brought about by adoption of modern technology, decline of middlemen such as zamindar and visvedar. Now the main objective behind agriculture production became to grow surplus crop to be sold in the market. This paved the way for greater penetration of market forces. It also encouraged consumption-oriented lifestyle among the rural people. Consumption of goods manufactured by urban mechanical method and keeping them in the house became a status symbol. This rural transformation driven by market economy, or now we can say the multinational company, can be described in the following form. The new market economy created a new class of rich farmer, big trader, petty official and political activists. It also led to the establishment of a large number of new facilities, especially credit facilities. Now credit cards have also reached the rural society. Now better material like tractor, water pump, harvester, etc. are also being used. The gap between the rich land owning class of agriculturists and an extremely poor landlessness laborer depend. Monetization has increased opportunity for social mobility. Due to the different ability of different members of the joint family to raise income, the practice of establishing a small family started. Contemporary Indian society, this led to the practice of occupational mobility and adoption of a new occupation. The rise of occupation-free caste structure which dealt a sharp blow to the traditional Jajmani system, ethnic barrier to economic development and mobility. It has also promoted women empowerment directly and indirectly, and of all these features, some recent events have been the most talked about. These incidents are of the agrarian distress caused by dependence on agriculture and suicide of farmers due to it. These suicides are also a matter of concern in the areas of green revolution like Punjab, Haryana, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh. A.R. Desai, while analyzing the mystery of farmer suicide, has told that there are some common trends and reasons for this. He had rightly said that the promotion of cash crop through the use of hybrid seed, chemical fertilizers and insecticide in the semi-thriving region has had many adverse consequences. Overall, there is a lack of coordination between the ecological specificity of those areas and commercial agricultural practices. There is increasing uncertainty and risk in agriculture due to changes in climate, especially in rainfall, due to which agriculture is becoming a victim of ecological crisis. The economic crisis along with the ecological crisis has made the situation worse. Commercial agriculture, however, is conducted on the basis of the use of external raw material, but the institutional credit for purchasing these raw material is available in very limited quantity to the farmer. Most of the farmers take huge loan to do commercial farming since the small and marginal farmers do not get immediate and easy access to institutional credit. They are forced to adopt modern agriculture or take loans from private money lenders, a high interest rate to continue the farming business. They also get easy loans from local money lenders and money lenders who thrive on interest bearing. In the era of ecological crisis, such farmers have to take more loan due to pest attacks or disease in their crop. The introduction of commercial agriculture is basically dry agriculture area has had an impact on the social fabric as well. In this type of agriculture, the principle of local or indigenous knowledge and caste and kin relations do not help. In such farming, the role of agents and agencies of agribusiness and agricultural extension workers remain prominent, and there is no question of traditional institution providing information. Its disadvantage is that these external elements often do not pay any attention to the interest of the illiterate farmer. Huge price fluctuations are part of the market economy and add to the problem. Farmers are left alone due to high cost of production in the absence of fixed procurement or support price by government agencies. Farmers also complain of rampant adulteration of pesticide and no guarantee of new varieties of cash crop seed. When two consecutive crops fail, the farmer's skin sits Changing agriculture practice, decline in government and administration support, diminishing power of farmer against market force, increasing risk in agriculture and lack of community support can easily be gauged by how much farmers are getting. You will have to face personal estate. And in the event of crop failure or extreme fluctuation in the prices beyond their control, the capital attack on farmer without any support of security destroys a small farmer and make them poor, just as the incident of suicide are a symbol of the despair spread in an area. Similarly, the deprivation of the food grain eaten to survive should also be taken seriously, as Susan George pointed out. The disappearance of a staple cereals in a given area without an adequate alternative economic base is a threat to food security and also makes local communities vulnerable. Thus, the incidence of suicides is directly related to the economic factors associated with the market economy. Uh, Now we will talk about a structural constraint in Indian agriculture. Historical scenario in India, the possibilities of capitalist industrialization arising out of increasing productivity in the pre-capitalist agriculture system were ended under colonial rule. The rigid land revenue system and commercialization of agriculture in line with imperial interest destroyed the production base of the present different economy. Large section of the peasant were made penniless and the landless were made landless. In the year 1931, 32% of rural workers were classified as landless. On the other hand, the land and the resulting occupancy remained confined to a few hands. The division was neither used to increase agriculture productivity nor to induce growth in construction. Due to the limited size of the domestic market, both the processes were stalled. India as a colony provided not only raw materials to British industries but also market to British manufacturers. The limited development of the construction industry replaced the craftsman, but it could not generate enough number of jobs for the poor farmer. The uprooted farmers were forced to find opportunity to earn their livelihood in agriculture. Now, failed land reform. Now we will talk about the land reform. Land reform was an important part of the economic program of national freedom movement. An elaborated law was drawn up after independence with the aim of achieving equitable distribution of land and other resources in rural India by providing agricultural land and ending oppression and exploitative feudal relation. In general, all are unanimous that the land reform program has completely failed to achieve its objective. Despite the abolition of indirect zamindari and middlemen, the wealthy upper caste zamindar maintained feudal dominance through political, administrative and judicial system. Wherever some progress was made in reducing the domination of feudal interest, the wealthy peasant very quickly accomplished it by increasing their dominance at the political and economic level. Tenancy laws in the states only failed to take the tenancy underground. The imposition of land restriction and only a very small part of the land was redistributed, and it was mostly barren and low-grade land. There is a vast difference between law making and its implementation at the state level. Thus, economic feudalism remains safe in Bihar, but Marxist government in West Bengal and Kerala succeeded in transforming the rural production bases. The consolidation of land in Punjab was done effectively, which was important for the introduction of modern technology and monetization and mechanization. Thus, it is necessary that a proper decision should be taken in the regard at the all India level. In fact, the difference here is so great that according to some scholars it is futile to take the same decision all over India. A decade later, the Green Revolution came to the fore, pushing back the issue of land reform.